Homecoming on Saturday. Queens and Brevard. The doubleheader gets started at 2 o'clock, and we're joined by the women's basketball coach here at Queens University of Charlotte, Sarah Jansen. Coach, let's put a bow on the Coker game from Wednesday night first. Obviously a tough-fought loss. You lost by 4 points, kind of a single-possession game most of the way. I thought your defense played pretty well, however. You held Irisha Cooper, arguably their best player, averages about 12 points per game, to just 10 points on 4 of 13 shooting. 50 points, obviously, for a winner is not that much, period. How would you assess the execution of the game plan defensively?
I felt like we did a solid job on the defensive end. Some possession here or there. They had, I think it was 7 offensive rebounds in the first half, which kind of, I think, kept it a little bit closer than maybe it needed to be. A couple help rotations here or there. I know that we held them, but I kind of felt like if we'd locked in a little bit better, we could have cut that down even further.
Now, what about the other end of the floor offensively? Obviously, without Mendy McNeese in the lineup the last couple of games, you lose your point guard late in the season. That's a tough task for anyone to overcome. But how do you feel the girls have handled it, not just emotionally, but also from the X's and O's standpoint? Things like bringing the ball up the floor. How do you think they've handled it?
I think right now we're still trying to kind of figure it out. We have to, because we have different people bringing the ball up before we have them in different spots. They start the offense in different spots. So finding out where we need to be offensively as far as what cuts are going to be better for us when we can get the ball into the post. Just trying to see if we can get a better idea of that.
Now, Coker is a team you did beat the first time around here at the Levine Center, and now you're tied with Coker and Tusculum for that 8th spot, all 4-11 in conference play. How do you remotivate your team? Tough loss there, but Brevard, a very gettable game coming up on Saturday. What do you say to your team? Are you a big rah-rah kind of speech coach?
Well, we'll save those for locker room. I think for us, we talk a lot about trying to be the best team that we can be, regardless of who we're playing. We're not good enough last night to be able to put together 40 minutes. If we can put together 40 minutes and we're trying to be the best team that we can be, I think we can position ourselves down the stretch. And, it's February. Every team wants to be playing the best in February, and we still, kind of got thrown a monkey wrench there with trying to figure out how we're going to bring the ball down the floor. That's kind of part of it. And that's part of being competitors and being collegiate athletes, is trying to find a way to get it done. And that's something that we'll spend the next couple weeks seeing if we can get into a little bit of rhythm going into this season.
Now, I mentioned Brevard before, very gettable game. They have just one win in conference play this season. Obviously, we know the circumstances around that program and their eventual drop to Division III starting next year. But you won a hard-fought game at their place the first time around. Now they come to the Levine Center on Saturday. What are you expecting to see from this Tornadoes unit?
They compete. Madison Lennox is probably one of the better players in the league. And I think there's something to be said when your back's up against the wall and you have a sense of pride that comes out, and you can tell that their players play with a great deal of pride, not just for themselves but for their school, and they want to put the best product they can out there. I had a double overtime loss at Tusculum a couple weeks ago, and all 5 players played 50 minutes. And I think that's pretty impressive to be able to get that game to double overtime and have a chance to win it. It's definitely not a game that we're taking lightly, and we'll continue to preach to our players to continue to try to be the best version of ourselves that we can be the best self that you can be, so that we can be the best team that we can be.
Madison Lennox, you just mentioned her. She leads the conference in scoring, 21.3 points per game, also 4th in the conference in rebounding. She averages nearly a double-double on the season. What's so good about her? What makes her such a dynamic player?
I think she's tough. I mean, she's kind of one of those old school players you don't see a lot. She's not afraid of contact. She finds ways to get things done, whether it's go get an offensive rebound. She takes tough shots. She finishes, does a little bit of everything. And, again, I think she's one of those players that has a great deal of pride in what she's doing and how she's performing. And it's evident when you watch her play.
Madison Lennox and Brevard, the task at hand on Saturday. It's homecoming here at Queens University of Charlotte, so come on out to the Levine Center. All get started at 2 p.m. We'll have the video broadcast for you on queensathletics.com/Royals Live. Also an audio feed available on ESPNCharlotte.net. Sarah Jansen, head coach of the Royals. Good luck on Saturday, Coach.
I appreciate it. Thanks, Phil.